Hi, my name's Lucian, and I'm part of the education team at the National Archives of Australia. An archive is a place where records are kept. The National Archives of Australia keeps records created by the Australian government from 1901 to today. There are around 42 million records in our collection, including letters, maps, forms, photos, and videos. Every record in our collection tells a story. Today, we are going to explore how one Australian artist was inspired to use some of these records in creating art with a message. Peter Drew is an Australian artist from Adelaide, South Australia. He is well known for his Aussie poster series, which he has pasted up on walls in public spaces all around the country. Peter uses a screen printing technique to create the posters. He reproduces black and white photographs from the National Archival collection, updating them with some colour. Peter adds one word, Aussie, to the bottom of each poster. The black and white photographs were taken in Australia during the White Australia policy. One part of this policy was the use of a dictation test designed to prevent non-white people from migrating to Australia. The test was enforced between 1901 and 1958. It was so difficult that between 1909 and 1958, not a single person passed the test. Non-white Australians who wished to travel overseas had to apply for a Certificate of Exemption from the Dictation Test, or CEDT. Otherwise, they would have to take the dictation test on their return to Australia, knowing that they would almost certainly not be able to pass it, and be deported from their home. The portraits that feature in Peter Drew's posters are all of individuals who applied for an exemption. In many cases, thumbprints and handprints were also taken to prove their identity.
I started with the portrait of Monga Khan, and that was in 2016 after the ISIS videos that were coming out and the Lint Cafe siege. There was a real anti-Islamic sentiment, and so I wanted to find a man who was visibly a Muslim and heroic. And so when I found the image of Monga Khan, I thought, that's him. He looked like someone who you'd want to be. It's sort of regal and heroic and all the things that make you want to identify with him. There is also so much sorrow and heartbreak in so many of the images. And so that led me to go back to the archive and to show people who looked less heroic and who really evoke empathy and a sense of introspection of why did Australia allow this to happen, especially the children. The idea that these people were seen as a threat and had to identify themselves and have special exemption papers because of their perceived race is absurd. And there's sort of a sense of absurdity that comes out of it when you see how young and vulnerable they are. I think the very first thing and the main thing that I want people to take out of the posters from seeing them on the street is that immediate hit of curiosity of who is that person? Because the poster doesn't really provide an answer, and that's quite strategic, because if you're walking down the street or driving your car and you see a poster and it says Aussie and it doesn't look like the typical idea of what an Aussie looks like, it's sort of jarring. You go, what? It conflicts with our sort of assumptions around that word Aussie, and there isn't an explanation, so you're left with a big question mark in your head. Well, who is that person? And then you're motivated to find out, or at least speak to one other person about it. I think the obvious thing that I should say about what thoughts or feelings I hope people have when they see the posters is that it makes them consider the assumptions around what it means to be an Aussie, because we all have these assumptions about sort of an ethnic or racial assumptions around what Aussie means. And I find that this is even true with people who have recently migrated to Australia. It takes them some time to feel that they belong and that they are included within that.
Thank you for joining me today. I wonder, what does the word Aussie mean to you? How have Australian attitudes and values changed since these black and white photographs were taken? And how will Australian society continue to change into the future? If you'd like to find out more stories in the National Archives, you can visit our website at naa.gov.au. Thanks everyone, and have a great day.